Good afternoon, Sangha. A few announcements before we get started. As always, please silence your phones if you're here in the Dharma Hall, or also mute your microphones if you're at home. We've been having wonderful retreats here. So we have another great retreat coming up next week. That's Finding Freedom and Compassionate Presence with Lisa Ernst. That'll be from June 23rd to the 27th. So for more information, you know what to do. Go to our website and please go to the retreat section of our website to get more information and on information on how to register. Venerable Panawati is offering a book study class. Class will be each Thursday at 5, so that will be today at 5 o'clock. The book is Learning from Buddha by Buddha Master H.H. Dory Chang, Buddha III. So if you're interested, you can also go to our retreat page and you'll see an option for book study, and that will allow you to sign up so that you can get the Zoom link for that book study. Also, we will be doing our novena prayers every third Thursday. That falls on today. What we're doing tonight, we still will be holding novena prayers, although it may not be broadcast live on YouTube. But we will be doing that tonight. And please continue whenever you have a moment. We are still praying for everyone who did previously send in prayers, and we are always accepting new prayers. So you can send those for loved ones, including pets, who are sick, suffering misfortune, or departed, and you can send those to prayer@heartwoodrefuge.org. And as you know, fully vaccinated Sangha members are able to attend our Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday Dharma, so we welcome those who are returning. And finally, we are having we're calling our Fluid Friday Fun Night this Friday. Usually it's called the Final Friday Fun Night, but we're moving it up a week. So it's going to be Dina, who is one of our lay members I couldn't call her a lay member, she's a Dharmacharya. Sorry, anyway, she's one of our Sangha members who's really excited to get this going again here on campus, and of course for those who are still at home. But this Friday is going to be called Sowing the Seeds of Dharma, and we're just going to be potting plants and painting pots and having a good time. So if you're able to come, you can join us at 6 o'clock here at Heartwood on Friday, or if you're at home, we'll have a Zoom link and you can be out in your backyard on your patio and paint with us and fellowship with us. We're looking forward to that on Friday at 6 p.m. And lastly, please like, follow, and share Heartwood and Thrifty Treasures on all social media to help spread the Dharma and further Heartwood's mission. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
So for Thrifty Treasures, is there a place that we can go online to find out when there's time available to volunteer?
Not right now, but what you can do is you can email our email address and just let us know when you're available. So it's Thrifty Treasures, all one word, and then WNC. So all that's together, Thrifty Treasures WNC @gmail.com.
WNC.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I would like to welcome you to the Dharma Contemplation practice that happens here every Thursday. It's a great honor for me to be here. As all of you know, most of you, there was a teacher training retreat this week, and it was very full and very fulfilling and intense. And yesterday, when I saw Venerable Panawati in the afternoon, and I said, Venerable Panawati, I think you should go home and rest. And she said, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll come tomorrow before class I said, that's good. And as she was stepping away a little bit, she said, would you teach tomorrow? And I said, well, can I tell in an hour? And she said, yes. Yeah, tell me. So after I found out that we didn't have to go to Charlotte immediately, I sent her a text and said, yes, I can teach tomorrow. And she said, just do whatever you want to do. And as for those of us who were in the retreat, something just happened, like we just found out something a few hours before what was happening. It was a very interesting experience, very liberating, and sometimes a little uneasy, but mostly very liberating. And I thought many things like, oh, maybe I can talk about the 5 precepts, which are something that I practice a lot and I'm very fond of. Or maybe I can talk about the paramis, which is something that I really like also. But I thought a lot about it. And this morning I said, no, actually I'm going to talk about the experience of being here this week, how it was. And so I said it's an honor to be here, to be sitting in the chairs of the teachers who always transmitted so much wisdom to many of us. So this is for me, it's also a great opportunity to serve, to be here and with you. My name is Fátima. I'm originally from Brazil, and I have been here in this country for many decades. And I met Venerable Panawari at Garrison Institute. I was part of a training of the community Dharma leader through Spirit Rock, and she was one of the guest teachers. And when she came to teach, a group of us felt very happy to see her there, very intrigued. And after she talked, there was a little garden, and she sat on a bench, and many of us came and sat on the floor around her. And it was such a beautiful experience. I felt like, oh, we are really sitting here next to a teacher, and the setting gave us this energy that we were someplace else. And that was very beautiful. And then I met her in California a couple times, in Oakland, and I went to some of her retreats, and that's when she told us that she was going to have the Dharmacharya training. It would be her first training, and that was, I think, 2013, and I felt very interested. So I I participated, and I graduated with her in Panadipa.
May I ask a question?
I'm sorry.
Am I allowed to ask questions? I don't want to be rude. I wanted to ask a clarification. What is Dhammacharya?
Dharmacharya is the program that it's a training, a teacher's training program, and Dharmacharya is the one who carries the Dharma as an exemplar.
Thank you.
And by example. So I have been learning a lot, and one thing that I really learned from Venerable Panawari and Venerable Panadipa was to change my relationship with the sutras and appreciate and learn and leave the patriarchy on the side and look for the teaching, the messages. And it has been very enlightening for me. I really appreciate understanding more the sutras and relating to to the lessons that are there and how to put that into practice. Venerable Panawati in this retreat told us, continue to see the sutras not as a text, but as a practice, as a way to some guideline to practice day to day. So that has been very powerful for me. But before I start talking more about the Dharma and how was the experience of being here, I would like to, for us to sit in silence just for 5 minutes and just observe where you are at this moment, and notice your breath and your body, the sounds, the thoughts, the feeling tones. Just for 5 minutes, notice what's right now with you and where you are. And now would like to invite you to look at the person next to you and tell that person what was the most beautiful thing you saw this morning, the most beautiful sound, and the most beautiful thought that you had this morning.
It's okay. It's better than smoking little exercise. This bunch of I dyed my hair curly every morning, so I'm a lot younger than last.
So,
We just moved here last week, and to the Virgin Islands, which is a really incredibly beautiful place. But all these beautiful greenery and lush trees and all the beautiful birds and sounds, beautiful plants that people have growing on the sides of the road, basically wild, are incredibly great for us, for me. And it's not easy leaving a place after 38 and a half years. And I was kind of missing my home before I left. It's so beautiful here. It's easy to fit right in. So it's just been lovely, lovely mornings.
so I just moved here 2 weeks ago from Michigan. Actually, I've been traveling since 2017, and then I came from originally from Michigan, and I've traveled, since 2017. And one of the first places that I came to when I left Michigan was here, which was my impetus for leaving. So this one was lovely. I had a horse farm.
Venerable Panadeep, I noticed that you changed from one share to another. I don't know if you're trying to connect with someone to share.
I thought the gentleman here was by himself. Moving up the chair.
Oh, okay.
And he slipped.
Sorry, I stole them from you.
So, would you like to share, Venerable? I would like for one person to share with us what was the most powerful word you pronounced this morning until now. Just one word. The most powerful, beautiful, present, genuine, sensitive, real.
You're saying one word?
One word that you think was like, oh, today, since you woke up to now, that the sound, the beautiful, powerful sound that came out of you, that you pronounced.
Thank you comes to mind. Thank you comes to mind.
Thank you. So this is what we did a lot this week. For the 6 days, I think it was from last Thursday to yesterday. Notice, observe, be present, be genuine, be yourselves. So I would like to share with you a little bit how was the retreat this week. At first, we were a little uneasy, and I think many of us were nervous to be together. For so many months we were kind kind of socially disengaged and distant, and being together and wearing the masks, I think some of us felt a little uncomfortable. Maybe we learned so much. We'll first start to learn how to see a teacher as our mirror. The teacher is the mirror. You see yourself in the teacher. We learned a lot about not feeling afraid of using our own voice and speak our own true, genuine voice. We was taught to recognize that the nature of mind is not conceptual. It's like, pay attention to that. And we were inspired to consistently contemplate our motivation. What are we doing? Why are we doing some things? We were almost every day remembered to think about teaching in the Dharma, teaching the Dharma not as an intellectual way, but it's like it's being genuine on touching your Buddha nature. We were taught to really relax in the Dharma, be familiar, friend with the Dharma within us. Venerable Panawati presented to us the three lineages of Buddhism, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. I still don't know very much about Vajrayana, and I'm just, for the last 2 years, I have been studying Mahayana. But most of my training is Theravada. One of the teachings that stayed with me came from Venerable Panawati was, we don't rely on people, but teaching. We don't rely on words, but the meaning. We don't rely on the occasion, but on the ultimate. We don't rely on the intellect, but the wisdom. Those are her words. I was able to read it. We reviewed several sutras this week. And one that, two sutras stayed with me. One was Sutra Fools and Wise Men. Sutra Majjhima Nikaya 129. Fools are those who think bad thoughts, speak bad words, and does bad deeds. And that person, that fool, continues to be reborn in hell. And the wise is the opposite. Is the one who engages in the types of good conduct, thinks good, speak good words, and does good deeds. That one is the one who are reborn in heaven. But the sutra is very good, very interesting, and you can just get the Majjhima Nikaya and read it. We were introduced with more details to the Vijnana Pitaka, which is a disciplinary teaching for the monastic sangha. And this, it's a sutra that is new for me, the Parivanara Sutra. Parivada Sutra, which says that the Dharma is the truth and the Vijnana is the way, the discipline. And the sutra, she gave a copy to us. Disciplines is for the sake of restraint. I don't have a copy for everybody, but I think many of you have it. It's very good to have because you can practice, even not being monastic, we can practice daily. And out of the sutra, there was a performance. The 26 of us transformed it into a performance, and it was very beautiful. And by the day of the performance, we who were together for all these days noticed that how much we let go. How, the concept of I am myself and you are the other. And that separateness, and you are very different from me, and all that happened. We hugged a lot, and we cried, we laughed, and it was very beautiful to do that, to be the performance. So we learned how to be authentically together, and in a very simple and true way. We meditated, we shared our, some of our very vulnerable parts of ourselves, and it was very beautiful. And we chant. We chanted almost every day. And this is one of my favorite parts. I love chanting together. I have been chanting for 3 years now, more consistently. I am part of one group that I also started with 2 other teachers, Kitsara and Tanisara, and they venerate Kuan Yin, and they do a lot of Mahayana chants. And with them, I learned about the Great Compassion Mantra, which is for Kuan Yin, and the Shurangama. Shurangama is a protective mantra. It's the biggest mantra in the Mahayana. There is 2,700 paragraphs. It's 8 volumes, and I read some parts of it, but we learned just a little paragraph, which is the heart of the Shuranga mantra. It's a protective mantra. It's a mantra against obstacles and challenges. And it means to continue to be firm and strong, and believe that you're protected, that you can be protected. So together, we did it 108 times. And that was a way to dissolve the 108 defilements that sometimes we carry, or that, some say that that's as many as we can have. On the opening of the retreat, when Venerable did the homage and the honoring and the homage to the Triple Jewel, she invited Sada to come and do a chant. And the chant is the recollection of the Triple Jewel. It is known as Iti Piso. That is also one of my favorite chants. Out of my group, the Dharmapala, the other training that I had, when we graduated, we created different groups, and like a book club or a day long every month, and the elders group, and the chanting group, and me and a friend of mine, Vicky from Taiwan, we said, let's create a group and chant. So we have been chanting every day for half an hour. I think we started last October. And it's very beautiful. There are different people who come and chant with us, and different people come, and we take turns of who is going to facilitate the chant. And every day we learn all the chants and we integrate that. We recently learned the chant that Venerable Panawati shared here, the Uman Panha, we know with the there is a joy in the lotus flower. So we learned, we listen to it, and we chant it every day. I like chanting, and there are many benefits of chanting. I personally notice that I feel more relaxed, and sometimes it's before I meditate, I feel a little anxious. And if I start with a chant, and usually I do the Bodhisattva's vow, and I do the Kuan Yin bowing, and then I sit to meditate. But I notice that if I just do 5 minutes of chanting, I feel more relaxed. So I'm going to just give you a little, I have a list of how chanting helps. So it helps to align mind, body, and heart. It helps to dissolve habitual and wholesome patterns. And my teacher, Kitsaru, said, when we chant, we break unwholesome habitual patterns, and we start to see patterns as a guest, something that comes and goes, like the thoughts. It helps to manage stress, to reduce anxiety, to improve relationships, to create inner peace, and it helps to awaken intuitions, your intuitive knowledge. It takes you away from your intellectual and cognitive knowledge and takes you more into the intuitive knowledge and your relationship to nature, to the world, to the universe, to the core part of yourself. It helps to lower blood pressure, helps for everybody who chants to become less judgmental and use more discernment than, judgment with values, negative values. It enhances your sleep patterns. It helps with difficult dialogues. When you have to have you are having some conflict with someone, and you need to have a real dialogue. And when you chant, that might open the vibration and the space, and it makes things easier. It helps to dissolve self-consciousness, like that, the shyness and the blaming. It helps to feel relaxed before sitting, as I said. It helps with memory. And I got this beautiful writing as a benefit. It is said that mantras or chanting are sacred words that resonate deep within our soul, matching with the frequency of the universe, and when repeated frequently, it purifies the mind and soul. It brings clarity and transforms the negative thought pattern into positive ones. So what I would like to do, I would like to invite you to chant together and to do the recollection. I have copies here. If you can for us to do it together. And what we could do is we can do call and response, and I say words and the words, and you say it, and then we can do it 3 times together. the recollection of the triple jewels, as you see, you're going to see on the copy there. It's divided in 3 parts, and the triple jewel, you know, the first one is Buddha, the second the Dharma, and the third one is the Sangha. So that's how it is divided there. And as you see, it's a Pali, there is a Pali, and there is an English translation. And when I learned the sutra, this chant, is that the way I learned is like, it was, for us, we were encouraged to choose some parts of it that spoke to us and remember that, and just keep repeating. And what comes to me very often, and what I use and it speaks to me, is sanditiko, which is the Dharma. Sanditiko, it's here and now, always present. That's on the second paragraph. And the other one word that, you know, is always with me is akaliko, timeless. It's like the Dharma, it's always here, always present, and it's timeless. So when you learn this this chant, you can see, you see what stays with you after you chant. Oh, which word, which sound stays with you. And you go and you explore more you explore more your relationship with that word. And what it, you know, what kinds of messages you're getting. So, would you like to do it together?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So, iti piso bhagawa.
Iti piso bhagawa.
Araham.
Araham.
Sama sambuddho.
Sama sambuddho.
Vijacharana sampanno.
Vijacharana sampanno.
Sugato.
Sugato.
Lokavidu.
Lokavidu.
Some people say lokavidu, but mostly the V is like U sound. Anuttaro purisa.
Anuttaro purisa.
Dhammasarati.
Dhammasarati.
Sata deva manusanam.
Sata deva manusanam.
Buddho bhagavati.
Buddho bhagavati.
Sawakato.
Sawakato.
Bhagavata.
Bhagavata.
Dhammo.
Dhammo.
Sanditiko.
Sanditiko.
Akaliko.
Akaliko.
Ehipasiko.
Ehipasiko.
Opanayo. Opanayiko.
Panayiko.
Pachatan.
Pachatan.
Veditabo.
Veditabo.
Vinuhiti.
Vinuhiti.
Supatipanno.
Supatipanno.
Bhagavato.
Bhagavato.
Sawakasango.
Sawakasango.
Ujupatipanno.
Ujupatipanno.
Bhagavato.
Bhagavato.
Sawakasango.
Sawakasango.
The N is like nya. Nyayapatipano
Nyayapatipano
Bhagavato
Bhagavato
Sawakasango
Sawakasango
Samitipatipano
Samitipatipano
Bhagavato
Bhagavato
Sawakasango
Sawakasango
Yadidam Chatari
Yaditam Chatari
Purisayugani
Purisayugani
Attapurisapugala
Attapurisapugala
Esa Bhagavato
Esa Bhagavato
Sawakasango
Sawakasango
Ahunayo
Ahunayo
Pahunayo
Pahunayo
Dakinayo
Dakinayo
Anjali Karaniyo
Anjali Karaniyo
Anutaram
Anutaram
Punyaketam
Punyaketam
Lokasati
Lokasati.
Good? Is that good?
Yes.
You got some of the sound, right? So, because Sada does it so beautifully, I would like to invite her to do it the first time by herself for us, would you? Yeah.
Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vecchayarana sampanno sukato lokavitu anuttaro purisatam masarati sattha Dewa Manu Sanam Buddho Bhagavati.
Sada, I'm going to ask you not to read. Don't read, just do the way you do it, because you already know, you memorized it. It's so beautiful. Yeah. But Sada, don't read it. Just do it.
Okay.
Do it the way, and do it a little louder.
Oh.
She performed without this week. It was very beautiful.
Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vecchayarana sampanno sukato lokavitu anuttaro purisatam masarati sattha dewa manusanam buddho bhagavati sawakhato bhagavata dhammo santitthiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko payatang veditappo vinyuhiti supadipanno bhagavato sawakasangho Ujupadipanno bhagavato sawakasangho nyayapadipanno bhagavato sawakasangho samijipadipanno bhagavato sawakasangho yatitang yattari purisayukani atta Purisapu kala esa bhagavato sawakasangho ahunayo pahunayo dakhinayo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punya ketang loka sati.
Thank you. That's very beautiful. That's very beautiful. Okay, so let's do it together. And my invitation is that try to be very free when you do it, and notice if something is coming up. The other day when we did 108 times, I was sitting here in Monday night, and Lisa, and we were doing the 108 time, and I was kind of leading everybody, and there was this moment that I couldn't follow because my mind went far away. And I said, I'm chanting, I have to come back. And there was the other time that I couldn't breathe, and then because we do together so many times, Imani was sitting here, and I followed her breath. And when she was chanting, I was breathing, and then when she stopped, I continued. So that you can do that also when you're doing together in the group. And I hope that we have a beautiful experience learning this chant. Okay, so let's do it together, and we're going to do it 3 times. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho dija charana sampano sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisatamma sarati sata deva manusana buddho bhagavati sawakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayo pachatam veditabo vinuhiti supatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Ujupatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Nyanyapatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Samitipatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Yadidam chatari purisayugani Atta purisa pugala esa bhagavato sawakasango ahunayo bahunayo bakinayo anjali karaniyo anuttaram punyaketam lokasati. How was that? It was good? Okay, so let's do it again. Okay. The first one we did for Buddha, okay? The second one is going to do for Dharma, and the third for Sangha. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho dija charana sampano sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisatamma sarati sata deva manusanam buddho bhagavati sawakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayuko pachatam veditabo vinuhiti supatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Ujupatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Samitipatipanno bhagavato sawakasango Yadidam Chatari Purisayugani Atta Purisapugala Esa Bhagavato Savakasango Pahunayo Dakinayo Anjali Karaniyo Anutaram Punyaketam Lokasati. So now we're going to do it for the Sangha. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vijacharana sampano sugato lokavidu anutaro purisattamma sarati sata deva manusanam buddho bhagavati savakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayuko pachatam veditabo vinuhiti supatipanno bhagavato savakasango Ujupatipanno bhagavato savakasango Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savakasango Samitipatipanno bhagavato savakasango Yadidam chatari purisayugani Ahta purisapugala Esa bhagavato savakasango Pahunayo Dakinayo Anjali Karaniyo Anutaram Punyaketam Lokasati. Thank you for accepting the invitation and participating. I just would like to know who chants here, who has a chanting practice? You do, you practice almost every day. How is your practice?
Well, not lately, but yeah, pretty much every day. I chanted a lot with Ruth too.
How is it for
That's
you?
here.
What do you see? What
Well,
benefits you find?
So I find that many of the chants that I do, you know, with the exception of, you know, beginning with, you know, the sessions that we do, the Dharma talks, and the chants that we do, then I spend a lot of time with the Tara chants. So from Tara to Tara, you know, going through the Tara practice, healing practice, and then the chant for emptiness. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Svabhava Shuddhaham.
Okay.
There's so many.
There are many.
And then I do Deva, you know, I listen to a lot of Deva Premal when I do yoga. And I actually chant the mantras when I'm doing yoga.
I just started to learn that the 108 primordial sounds. I didn't know very much, but it seems like there was a sage who started all the sounds, and the number 108 is there. And and what I read a little bit is that the sage got the sounds from the moon and the sun. it's very new to me. So, but I'm interested in learning more about this primordial sounds, what they are, and I think it has a lot to do with nature, you know, the sound of nature, and yeah. So we have a few, I think it ends at 1:15, 1. So we have this time to share and to ask questions. And what I like is that for us not to ask anything that we can easily find on Google. Because it's so easy to, you know, if you want to go deeper and get a lot of definitions and concepts, we can easily go to Google. But what is, you know, something that is related to the present moment and what, you know, what you can share what comes to you and how it was and how you're doing right now and your relationship to chanting and.
Well, for me, when I first started chanting, I found that it opened me up a little bit, and I'm usually reluctant to speak in a group setting, and especially when we're going to be on the internet. But I do feel like it does open me up, and that's been very helpful for me. Another thing I noticed when I very first started was when I first came here to Heartwood, and I used to say it helped drown out the negative self-talk, and you mentioned that. I guess another way to put it would be to help suppress the unarisen, unwholesome mental states. So I like to start with it early in the morning when I first wake up. Actually, before I get out of bed is when my practice starts in that way, to try and set the proper tone. I don't always stay with it, but I do my best. So thank you so much for this practice today.
You chant here, right? You have a chant group here at Heartwood?
We used to do it as...
Ruth, I thought she came and talked about chanting with our group this week.
Mm-hmm. When she lived here, she led that.
Oh, okay. And I know that Venerable Panawari loves to chant and to sing, and I think that's very beautiful, because what I like about chanting is that there are different ways of chanting from different cultures and lineages. You can learn that too, but you can also develop your own relationship with the chant, and like the Shurangama that I mentioned earlier. There is a way that is, you know, Daji tu na 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 li pishe ti pi la pashe la to li pan to ni pashe la pan ni pan hushi du lu yun pan so pa ha. But sometimes when we're like, okay, the energy is not very high, okay, let's Dajo ti na 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 li. But when the energy, you know, it's high, Dajo ti na 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 li pishe ti pi la pashe la to li pan to ni. So you create your own movement. You can dance with it. You can have a strong relationship, heart relationship with the syllables, with the intonations, and I really like that. It helps me to feel joy. And sometimes when I am a little homesick to my family and to Brazil, chant helps me to uplift. Anybody else would like to share how it was? How did you feel in your body? What was it easy to follow?
No.
I like the rhythm of it.
No?
Not easy, but not difficult either, in between. It's brand new.
Okay, yeah.
I like the rhythm of it, you know, even if you can't follow it, it's that rhythm that I really like, you know, like you can't You can't say all the words, but you can follow the rhythm. It just really kind of feels it inside.
You know that when we do Namo Tasso, and sometimes you just say, when we're meditating or we want to chant a little bit, we just go Namo, Namo, Namo. Or when we are doing Kuan Yin, we are, venerating Kuan Yin with the Namo Kuan Shein Pusa, and we just go 10 times. Namo Kuan Shein Pusa, Namo Kuan, or Kuan Shein, Namo Kuan Shein. It's like I think the repetition helps to release something, and I think the way it feels is that when you repeat a word that touches our heart, and it brings some kind of freedom of the being so aware of of the negative ways we see ourselves. And I love chanting in groups and in the Sangha. I'm very Sangha oriented. I love concentration. I love the Dharma. And I also love Sanghas. I think that it's the place that besides being close to teachers, it's a place that I learn the most.
We chant the Great Compassion mantra in our novena prayers monthly in Chinese, and we're bringing Guanyin into our, her great compassion into us when we're chanting it. And for the first many times, we were doing that novena prayer nightly for 7 nights, and then weekly for 7 weeks. So we had lots of opportunities to kind of start learning it. Initially, it was really hard. And it was all of my attention and all of my energy on just getting the Chinese words right. But then, once you really start to get familiar with it, I have noticed that it's just a deeper resonance and beauty and meaning in the chanting process itself. So I've enjoyed getting familiar with it to the point where I can kind of embody the meaning and the experience.
Mm-hmm. When we arrived here, Venerable Panawati said, we're going to have some teachers here, and she said, who's going to teach? Raise your hands. And we didn't, and then she started calling our names, and she said, Imani, Fatima. So I'm going to teach. So okay, because we didn't have this schedule every day, right? It was every morning. I never knew
That's a surprise.
and what I was going to teach. So one day I got very each day I got inspired. I said, I'm going to do chanting, and that morning we had Ruth coming here and giving a talk and about chanting. And then there was something else. Like every day I thought about something that I could teach. And then I said, I'm going to probably do the Great Compassion Mantra. And then we went to the Vajrayana hall, and then the first chant mantra was the Great Compassion. I said, whatever. But then nobody did the Sharangama. So I said, that's what I'm going to do, and introduce to everybody. And it was very interesting experience. And we do the Great Compassion Mantra for you. Those of you who don't know, it's a beautiful mantra. It's in Chinese, but the way it was written in Sanskrit, and Master Hua from the 10,000, the city of 10,000 Buddha, city of the 10,000 Buddhas, translated to Chinese. We have 3 Chinese chanters in our group, and they said, sometimes it does not make sense. It's because the way it was translated was based on the syllables and the sound and how it sounds, and so that we're learning. And that's a mantra that I also, there are parts of it that I can memorize. And I like always that, you do some lines and they say, and you finish saying swaha, which is like amen, or, and so it is, ashe, or, you can have your own translation to that completion, but it's very powerful. And when we we are feeling the pains of the world, because it's, they said the Kuan Yin is the Bodhisattva that hears the cries of the world. So when we are carrying all this, and we are very attached in suffering because of there's so much suffering, when we do the mantra, it's a way to release and give it to Kuan Yin to take care of everybody who is in need. Joshua, you want to share something? You came here to help us to use our voice, and you chant, and you are, not chant, you sing and are helping so many people to find their voices here. How was the experience for you?
I would say it's not really my thing per se. I'm happy that other people find meaning in it. That's very nice to hear. Of course, any kind of music that enriches people's lives is really great. What's so wonderful is if you're not really into hamburgers, you don't necessarily have to eat hamburgers every day. And like music, there's some things that we're drawn to and that enrich us, and some things that don't. We gravitate towards the things that do. So it's wonderful to see your joy in it. Just may not be my cup of tea, so to speak. But maybe it's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can finish. It's very beautiful for me to spend time with you here, and it's very special that Venerable Panadipa is here. And Venerable Panadipa was the one who introduced me to Buddhadasa, which I read, which words are, very important for me. And I hope that you continue with your practice and continue to touch anybody who comes, everybody that you think about, that you see, that you speak with, that you feel, that your practice touch them and make, connections and diminish suffering. Thank you.